channel. I'm Alexis, and I'm going to get you caught up on what I read last week and some of my goals for this week. The good thing is, good news, I am off work Wednesday through Sunday. So lots of reading to be had. I am going to do a thankfully reading readathon. It's through Instagram. I'm going to post on my Twitter and Instagram, and I'll post on my blog like when it's done. I'll also do a video on what I'm going to be reading, my TBR. So one thing I haven't talked about or shared is I like to crochet, and I'm doing a reading blanket. So some people do a temperature blanket. So each row is a temperature of the like the week. Usually they do like an average temperature, and each color represents the average temperature. So I decided to adapt that and make a reading blanket. And I am currently on the month of March. It's November. But you know what? It's cooler weather, it's crochet weather, so I'm going to get back into it. So each of the colors are, I will show you my little color coding here. It's very fancy. This little, like, it's called Vintage. It's like a cream color. It's 2022 releases. And then purple is audiobooks. Then I have a border that's seashell color, also kind of a cream, more white than cream. Picture books are yellow. Young adult is a color called Galaxy. It's pretty blue. And then like a teal is middle grade. It's called Abyss. And adult is Himalayan Salt. These are all Caron, C-A-R-O-N, Simply Soft Speckle yarn. So those are them. And then here's what it looks like so far. So it's like, it's getting there. It's going to be about this wide, and then as long as I can. And then if I need to make it double like wider, I'm going to do like 2 panels and stitch them together. So that's my reading blanket. Then I have, right now I'm working on finishing up March with the audiobooks. So I have 11 rows, no, 2 rows. Sorry, I forgot I do tally marks. 2 rows for audiobooks. And then I'll need to do 3 rows for 2022 releases. So last week I had a reading slump. I was really stuck on, I'm reading like 10 books, and I could not figure out what I wanted to read. My moods are all over the place. I'm really tired. And so I struggled last week. I finally, on Friday, Googled, of course, top books to get you out of a slump. I know thriller is a typical genre to read when you're in a slump. That, or I like novels in verse or graphic novels. So nothing was really sounding good. But I did come across a book called The Last Housewife, and I had an arc of it. So I was like, all right, we'll try this book. I have an arc, so it's kind of like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I can read an arc and review it, and I can get out of a slump and maybe read something. It was a good choice. I started it Friday night, finished it Sunday, and I couldn't put it down Saturday at all. It was so good. And it's definitely adult. There's a lot of trigger warnings. They put them all in the beginning. And gosh, I have made a mess of this yarn. A lot of trigger warnings, but a really good thriller, a really good like mystery, and kept me turning pages. It also had like podcast format, an interview style for some of the chapters, which made it go by faster. And I like the different media sometimes, you know, throwing it in there to kind of spice things up. So I really enjoyed it. I really did. So I hope it got me out of my slump. And, sorry, I'm trying to see. I think I'll just do one chain between. Yeah. Okay. Got one row of audiobooks done. So that was the only book I finished last week. Some other books I picked up. I picked up Pippa Park, Crush at First. Come here. Sorry. Cat 1, Reese's. Here comes Cat 2, Twix. You want to sit down? You can sit down. So anyway, Crush at First Sight, I think it is. I'm listening to the audiobook at school. Like, I've been hanging up some work from students, so it's let me, listen to an audiobook pretty easily on my plan time. And then I'm also reading or listening to Court of Wings and Ruin. It's the third book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, Akatar, by Sarah J. Maas. Pippa Park, by the way, is Erin Yoon, and I interviewed her for Legit Kidlit, and I'll link that below. Also, on my Kindle at night, I'm reading All of Our Demise. It's the sequel to All of Us Villains. That's a great series. All of Us Villains is super dark Hunger Games with magic, but very dark, much more young adult. And then All of Our Demise is the sequel. They're long books, though. It's taking me a while, but I'm enjoying it. It's got a good, I don't know, it's just, it's dark, and it makes, I really like it. And then I started Bluest Sky by Christina Diaz, and just started it. Also started Bloodmark. I got that in the mail last week. That's the sequel to Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't believe I was in a slump and couldn't get through that. I think that book is just so big, it intimidated me. But I'm on chapter 10 right now, and it's really, I'm getting back with the characters and who they are and the storyline, and I'm invested. And then I started The Brave as a book to read in November for Indigenous peoples. There's some controversy around that book and the author, and so I decided to continue reading it just to kind of see some of the things that were being talked about. And also, it's a book I had already purchased, and so I want to read it. So, and it so far, well, I'm still in the beginning stages. So far, I like it, and I've seen one thing that could be potentially controversial, but I don't know yet. Okay, so like I said, I was reading tons of books, having a hard time focusing, and so I did, though, finish one. So this week, readathon, I'll post a video later about my goals. I hope to knock out some of these books that I'm reading so I can kind of get back I always read a lot of books, but with less books. And I also hope to write. It's the final week of Nano, and I haven't got a high word count, but I've got a great start on a story that I'm really excited about. I've been working on little things each day, for the most part each day, or at least 4 times a week. I've got a mood board, I've got a playlist and some quotes, got the outline. I've been brainstorming with my group, one of my groups, and been watching a movie that goes with it and listening to the soundtrack of it to get in the mood. So, and I've written a couple poems because it's going to be in verse. So I've really liked it, and I'm excited to write this story. So yeah, I'm going to finish this row and then keep reading. Hope you all have a great reading week. For those of you who have a break for Thanksgiving, enjoy. And if you don't, I still hope you enjoy yourself. So thanks for watching.